Kindergartners, today we are going to create an autumn or fall scene, and to do that you're going to take your 3 green pieces of paper and you're going to round those corners off like we've been practicing so much this year. So it's okay to round them the fast way. If you still have to do the practice where we cut the triangle off the corner, you can do that as well. If you want to have a smaller tree, you can cut these a little bit tinier and round them so they're more of a circle shape. So I'm trying to make 3 trees, and I want each of them to look a little bit different. So I'm just putting those scraps to the top. Mrs. Cleary will come around and gather those shapes from you. So we are doing some cutting and gluing first, and then we'll be doing a little bit of painting. I'm going to put these trees on my paper so that I have space at the top and I have space at the bottom to add leaves and trunks of the trees. So I'm going to put glue on one side and flip it over. At your tables, you have some paints that you will be sharing with the people at your table. So you want to be respectful of these paints. We're going to put the sponges in the paint, and when you get to your painting part, there already might be paint on that sponge. We want to wipe those gobs of paint off. We want very, very little bit of paint, just so that that sponge has color. And we are going to stamp up and down on those trees to give them a nice texture like leaves. I can't see a lot of paint there. I'm going to get a little bit more on my sponge, and I'm remembering to wipe off that extra. So I'm using one color at a time, getting a little bit of that color on every tree, and I'm always stamping. I'm not smearing them. I'm trying to get that nice fluffy texture of the sponge. I'm going to set this to the side for my next friend at the table to use, and I'm going to get the second color. So this one has a new sponge. I want to keep those sponges in those same colors. Looks like I need a little more paint on that one. Wiping it off. If you want to add a little bit of sponge paint at the bottom, like some leaves have fallen on the ground, you can do that. And I'm going to do my last color, this red. So I'm making sure I'm wiping all that extra off. I barely have any paint at all. Awesome. Those are really looking like autumn and fall trees. Like the leaves are turning colors and falling to the ground. There's one thing missing though. My trees look like they're floating. I need to give them tree trunks. We're going to actually use cardboard. So when we use the sponges in the cardboard, we call this printing, or it's kind of like a fancy stamp. So this cardboard has a cool texture like a bumpy tree trunk. I'm going to use this up and down. And I'm going to do it about 4, maybe 5 times right in a row to get that trunk. When I use the paint, I get it in the brown and then I kind of stamp on the side of the plate to get those gobs off. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do that last one. If you want to put a few branches up in the trees, you can. Branches sometimes look like the letter V or the letter Y. If you want to do a couple more, you can do that. They could come up out of the shape. When you are all finished with your autumn printing, these are going to go in the drying rack to dry.